That brings us now to item number F, consideration and action on recommendation of the Snellville Public Arts Commission. Oh, I'm sorry. Brings us to item number F, consideration action on the recommendation of the Snellville Public Arts Commission to spend $1,000 to purchase materials and services for completion of the display cases at City Hall. Do I have a motion to approve this expenditure?
Motion to approve $1,000 to purchase materials and services for the completion of the display cases at City Hall.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Councilman Sabag. Any further discussion?
We need this because we have display cases that don't display anything. So this will be finishing the backside so we actually have functional display cases. It's a donation to the city. The city will then contract to have it built, and we'll have displays in our display cases.
Additional comment? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of authorizing the expenditure signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. Thank you to the Art Commissioners. That brings us now to item number G, consideration action on approval to amend the schedule of fees for submission of fingerprints. Do I have a motion to authorize the Snellville Police Department to charge $45 for the submission of prints for work, alcohol, and other permits?
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to approve the amend schedule of fees for the submission of fingerprints.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Howard. Any further discussion?
I think we just need to note this is a pass-through. We're getting charged more, so we're going to charge more.
Seeing no further discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. Item number H, consideration and action on approval to release the attorney-client privileged emails in response to open records request by Gwinnett Ethics, Inc. I asked that this be placed on the agenda. We had an open records request, and in an effort to be as transparent as possible, I've asked that the council waive the attorney-client privilege so that we can release all of the emails subject to this ethics request. Is there a motion? Seeing no motion, this dies. So those requests will not be released as subject to the open records, Ms. Arnold, as part of attorney-client privilege. I, reappointment of the Planning Commission board members. The remaining items on the agenda are several appointments. Some of them are new appointments and some are reappointments. June 30th, our boards and commissions, for the most part, terms end. So we have several vacancies on our boards and our commissions on June 30th. About half of these vacancies appear on tonight's agenda. The other half I'm still working on. I need to talk to some people, and they should hopefully appear on the July 8th agenda. All of these nominations that I'm making will be to take effect after June 30th when the vacancies actually occur. Item I, I'm nominating Robert Harrington for reappointment to the Planning Commission for Post 1 and Christy Linsky for reappointment to the Planning Commission for Post number 5. Is there a motion to approve this appointment, these nominations?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Kraus. Is there a second?
Second the nominations.
Seconded by Councilman Sabag. Any additional discussion? See none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. We then have the Board of Appeals. I'm nominating Sid Parrott for reappointment to the Board of Appeals for Post 3. Is there a motion to approve the nomination?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Kraus. Is there a second?
I second the nomination of Sid Parrott to Post 3.
Seconded by Councilman Sabag. Any further discussion? See none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the reappointment of Sid Parrott signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The reappointment stands approved. For the Parks and Recs Board, I nominate Wayne Odom for reappointment to Post 1, Adam Gillian for reappointment to Post 5, and Bobby Owens for reappointment to Post 6. Is there a motion to approve these nominations?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Kraus. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Witz. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the nomination signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The nominations stand approved. Item number L, reappointment to the Urban Redevelopment Agency Board of Glenn Kirkland. Is there a motion to approve the nomination?
So moved.
There's a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Witz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Kraus. Any further discussion? See none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The nomination stands approved. Item number M, reappointment of the Public Arts Commission. I nominate Kirk Bice to be reappointed to the Public Arts Commission. Is there a motion to approve the nomination?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Emmanuel. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, if I could, please. You know, it's a wonderful thing that people in our city, you know, continue to want to serve on boards and give their time, energy, and efforts to the city just because that's what they do. They serve the city. And to this point, you can see that 8 of these people, you know, continue to want to serve, and that's what they want to do. So it's important to say thank you to all those people. I don't know if all of you are here. I can't look around. But I do thank you for serving. I do thank you for taking your time to serve our city and to serve the people of this city.
Further comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the nomination of Kirk Bice to the Public Arts Commission signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The nomination stands approved. Item number N, this is a new appointment of Claudette Forbes to post 5 of the Board of Appeals. Ms. Forbes, are you present? If you'd stand up. I believe the council has Ms. Forbes' application. In addition, Ms. Forbes has also served on the community garden. I believe that was recent since she turned in her application originally. So if anyone has any questions for Ms. Forbes, she is available. Is there a motion to approve her appointment?
Mayor, I make a motion to nominate Ms. Forbes, Claudette Forbes, to post 5 of the Board of Appeals.
There's a motion by Councilman Sabag to approve the nomination. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Mayor Pro Tem Witz. Any further discussion?
Yes. I have quite a bit of discussion. Ms. Forbes, I apologize that you've been put into this position. I have worked alongside you at the community garden. We've dug together. We've laughed together. I hold you in the highest respect. Unfortunately, this is not about you. You're being, in my mind, in the mind of many people in the city, used by the mayor to seek revenge on a longtime volunteer in this city. You are the only person tonight, by the way, who is being nominated to replace someone. Now, there are a lot of other people in these boards who have not been reappointed. Okay, Maryland, we'll just take the Board of Appeals. There's 3 people on the Board of Appeals who are not going to be renominated by the mayor. Marcy Ferris, who has almost 30 years experience, Maryland, which has almost 10 years experience, and I'm sorry that the 3rd person lapsed me. No more than if you had served on that board for 10 years and someone tried to remove you for the wrong reasons, I would stand for you just as well as now I'm standing for Marilyn. Marilyn is a very dedicated, as you know, because you've worked with her, she's a very dedicated person to the city. She has spent an awful lot of time and an awful lot of effort getting the education needed for her to sit on the Board of Appeals. There's only one reason that she's not being renominated, and it's despicable. And I apologize
but you were brought into this. It is, that to me is just as despicable. And so I apologize to you, but I have to stick with the woman who has spent all this time learning and serving the city with absolutely no one ever having anything bad to say about her decisions, or the amount of time or effort she puts into the job. It's a matter of loyalty. I believe that loyalty is a two-way street. And if you expect people to be loyal to you, you have to be loyal to them also. And when someone puts in the time in the city that this woman's put in, unselfishly, then the city owes her the loyalty and the thank yous for all the work that she does. So please, please, please know, I would be the first to nominate you for any open seat on this city. Absolutely. I think you'd be a wonderful addition, as you are a wonderful addition to the community garden and to everything else you're involved in the city. I'll be the first. This is not about you. This is about what the mayor's trying to do to a woman who I think is being mistreated. So I apologize to you for that, but please know, it has nothing to do with you.
Additional comments?
I have a question, Ms. Forbes. The application that was submitted in our agenda packet is dated January 3rd, 2012. Had you submitted another application for the Board of Appeals? When did you decide you wanted to run for the board or be nominated for the Board of Appeals? Excuse me?
I was asked by the mayor recently, and I accepted.
Okay, I was just curious because this is what we were given, and this is over a year old for an entirely different board. I was just trying to get a feel for how this all came about. Thank you.
Councilman Emanuel, I can answer that. We have several applications on file for board appointments, and we have several vacancies that are going to be occurring on our boards. I did contact Ms. Forbes and several of those applicants to see if they would be interested in serving on any of the boards. I believe they went and looked at the board website, webpage on our website, our city website, and responded with what boards they would have interest for. Mayor Pro Tem Witz, this is not punishment for one thing. However, I do believe that someone that serves on our Board of Appeals should not have conflicts of interest with our city. The Board of Appeals is a very important position because their decisions do not come in front of the mayor and council. They are appealed to the Superior Court. So we have to make sure the people that we appoint to those positions are their vision for the city is consistent with the vision for the city of this governing body. And so I stand by my nomination of Ms. Forbes, and if there's further comment, I'll entertain that. If not, I'll call the question.
I have further comment. I would love to hear you explain to me where Marilyn Swinney's vision for this city conflicts with the vision of this governing board.
Mayor Pro Tem Witz, I'm not going to sit up here and I do disagree with some of the decisions or some of the behavior that has occurred on the Board of Appeals. I'll be happy to discuss that with you in private. I believe that's a personnel matter, and I'm not going to air my opinions of personnel persons in public.
The translation to that, ma'am, is you don't have any. Thank you.
That is not true, and I'll actually be happy to address some of those in my mayor's report. Thank you. Any additional any additional comments from the mayor and council?
Mayor, if I may, Claudette, whatever you heard today, however you translate it, take it from me. You're the best. God bless you. I think you're a wonderful person. I think your services to the city, every time I see you out there, whether it's in a parking lot, whether it's out by the community garden, whether it's here, you are an inspirational person to me personally. I don't know about the rest of the board or the rest of the folks who are here, but you are. And thank you for being here, and the guidance and the words of wisdom that you have shared with us. You're fantastic. God bless you. Keep it up. You will be on my vote every time, and I will vote for you anytime you come in to this city hall. And I appreciate all the things you've done. God bless you.
Mr. Powell, point of clarification, under Robert's Rules of Procedure, the person that makes the motion and seconds the motion unless it's made for the purpose of discussion only, not required to vote in favor of the motion.
You mean the person who's made the motion? No, there's no binding. There's nothing binding about making and seconding. There's a discussion that takes place that's supposed to be an open discussion of the merits of the event, and then they can vote for whoever they want to.
And you're basing that on Robert's Rules of Procedure?
I am, I could research that for you, but I'm pretty sure there's not a provision that binds somebody making a nomination to vote in favor of what was action on the floor. I don't think I'll find anything, which will take me a long time to do. I'm really not your parliamentarian, but it really is my best judgment is that just because you make a motion and second the motion doesn't mean that you're bound to vote in favor of it, because you want the public hearing to be one where ideas are exchanged, where minds can be changed, and where people can do whatever they want to in terms of the final vote. So it's not binding.
Isn't that why we take the public comment before the motion's actually made?
Well, there's also the debate of the council. That's what y'all do. Y'all try and convince each other of your position and the strength of it and the rationale for it. And so once you make the nomination, that's just to put the item on the floor in a format where a decision can be made. It's made by a party, it's seconded and then honed by the chair to be an action item. After that, the vote takes place, which is you're not bound to the fact that you made the motion and have to vote in favor of it. That's not a requirement.
Thank you, Mr. Powell.
Could I ask Mr. Powell a question also, please? So let me understand that. Based on what I just heard, that if you second a motion, what I'm hearing is that you're supposed to vote in favor of whatever the motion
You didn't
is?
understand me. It's
Okay.
just the opposite of that. I think both the person making the motion and the person who has seconded the motion are free to vote the way they want to.
Okay,
You're not
well,
bound by
and I guess that's what I want to be sure of, because in a meeting prior to this one 2 weeks or 4 weeks ago, I made a second and didn't vote for it. So I'm just curious if that's on the record and we can look at that, and if that wasn't a problem then, I can't see it being a problem now.
Well, I guess I've been to many meetings where it didn't follow that procedure also. And frankly, I've made motions and had them seconded for debate purposes. They even said it as they made the motion. And so I've witnessed all of that in the context of many legislative hearings, all of which did not require the person making the motion or seconding the motion to actually vote in favor of it.
Thank you.
If I may interject, this was a point of discussion somewhere along the lines, and actually a motion or a second for discussion purposes only is not a legal motion in Robert's Rules. You either make a motion or you make a second or you don't, as far as my reading was.
With that, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the nomination of Claudette Forbes to post 5 of the Board of Appeals signify by raising your right hand. That's 2 in favor. All those opposed? That's 4 opposed. The motion stands denied. Thank you, Ms. Forbes, though. That brings us to item number O, Mayor's nomination of the Urban Redevelopment Authority. I nominate Dexter Harrison to serve on the Urban Redevelopment Authority. Is there a motion to approve Mr. Harrison? Mr. Harrison, are you here? Present? Mr. Harrison is present. We have had his application before. I believe all of council is familiar with Mr. Harrison, but if they do have any questions, Mr. Harrison is present. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Is there a motion to approve the nomination of Dexter Harrison to the Urban?
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to nominate Dexter Harrison.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Kraus. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Witz. Any further discussion?
Yes, I have a comment. Mr. Harrison has been nominated, I believe this is the 5th time. And again, we go back to the original application, which is March 8th of 2012. Mr. Harrison, apparently you have the patience of a saint. However, I have to express my unhappiness for you because I believe you're being used as a pawn. And I think after 5 nominations that's proven that. There has not been a reapplication on your part since the March 2012 application, and I wish you the best of luck.
There actually has been 2 vacancies on the URA since the board was formed. Mr. Harrison has been put up before for other boards, and each time his nomination has died, council has said how much they appreciate Mr. Harrison, but they don't feel that he is right for that position. So this is a position that has been vacant since the inception of the board, one that I spoke with Mr. Harrison about, that I feel he would be an asset to this board, and that he agreed that he would be willing to serve on. Are there any additional questions for Mr. Harrison or additional comments by mayor and council?
Yeah, you just clarified the question I was going to ask. So this will fill the vacant position that has a term 6/30 expiring in 2015, that fills that position, correct?
That is correct. There are no posts designated for the URA. They're designated by the vacancies. Additional comments or questions?
I have a comment, Mr. Harrison. Thank you again for agreeing. I don't think you're a pawn, by no means. And I think this is disrespectful for someone calling you a pawn, and I apologize for this, Mr. Harrison. I appreciate your work for the city. I've known you for many years. I don't think anything has changed about you. Your address hasn't changed. You're still Dexter Harrison I knew a couple of years ago, and you're still Dexter Harrison today. I don't have to review your application fully, sir, because I have a great deal of confidence in you and your ability. Thank you for allowing us to nominate you today. If you get nominated, if you get confirmed, I appreciate all you do.
Mr. Harrison, where are you? Old sailors never die, right? Go Navy.
With that, I will call the question. All those in favor of approval of the nomination of Dexter Harrison to the Urban Redevelopment Agency signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. Congratulations, Mr. Harrison. That now brings us to council reports.